I repeated the thought again and again. If I chanted it for long enough, maybe it would come true. I blinked, but I couldn't keep my eyes shut. Staring through darkness, I could just make out Jake sleeping in the bunk across from me. His chest rose and fell rhythmically, and his arm was flung haphazardly across his face, hiding his scruffy beard. The sound of his breathing and intermittent snoring kept me up. The noise filled the space, ringing in my ears along with the dull roar of the bus's engine. I pinched my eyes shut, like that might somehow block out the noise, and rested my head against the cold bus window on the far side of my bunk. My mind spun as thoughts tumbled around half-formed. I tried to latch onto them, but they remained out of reach, taunting me. Stop thinking. Stop thinking. I took a deep breath, but the humid air and the lingering smell of stale beer and sweat didn't help with my motion sickness. The bus jolted as we bumped over something on the road, and my stomach lurched. My head rattled against the window. I grimaced. The glass vibrated and buzzed like the bus was trying to shake itself apart. The bunk across from me creaked as Jake stirred and rolled over, but he didn't wake up. Lucky bastard. I wasn't going to sleep tonight. It wasn't going to happen. I took out my phone and hit the home button. The bright glow of the screen burned my dilated eyes, and I squinted until the display became clear. 2:47 a.m., I scowled. How was it not even 3 yet? I'd been lying here for what felt like hours. I flipped my phone to the camera and put it in selfie mode. There was just enough ambient glow from the emergency lights at the floor of the bus to illuminate my face. I pushed my mess of dyed black hair out of my eyes, trying to untangle it. I needed to fix my roots, but I knew I would fuck it up for sure. Maybe I could get Veronica to do it for me. The heavy bags under my eyes looked even darker than usual. But other than that, I didn't look too bad for a guy who hasn't slept in nearly 3 days. I put on a slight smile and snapped a photo of myself. Took 2 more in case the first turned out bad. After sitting up, I opened Instagram and switched from the Make Them Scream shared account to my own. The screen froze for half a minute as it loaded, stretching to get signal. The bus's Wi-Fi crapped out 2 days ago when someone spilled beer on the router, and we hadn't been able to get it working since. Come on. I shook the phone and tapped the cracked, smudged screen, like that might somehow help it load. Stupid piece of shit. Finally, the main screen popped up and I uploaded the picture of myself 78. The loading screen spun for a few seconds and then it stopped. I glanced at the upper left corner of the screen. No service. Fuck. I rolled my eyes. Oh well. God bless Verizon's spotty service for preventing me from posting stupid shit to Instagram in the middle of the night. I slipped my phone into my pocket and got up. The bus turned as it careened down the road, and I gripped the side of the bunk to keep myself from falling over. Fucking Liz was driving like a crazy person. I stumbled up the aisle to the front of the bus, bracing myself on the small plastic table that was bolted to the floor as we took another turn. "Are you trying to kill us, woman?" I asked, plopping down in the passenger seat next to her. Liz glanced at me, her blue eyes catching mine. They were bloodshot, and her heavy eyeliner and mascara were streaked and smudged like she'd been rubbing them. She always insisted on driving the night shift. Something about enjoying the peace and quiet. This road's so fucking narrow. She masked a yawn as she turned her attention back to driving. I can hardly tell when a curve's coming up. Tall pine trees towered around us like the walls of a cave. Their branches swayed in a gust, casting eerie shadows on the road ahead of us. We were in the middle of fucking nowhere. There weren't even any streetlights, just the bus's high beams. Whose bright idea was it to book gigs in Chicago and Seattle, 2 days apart anyway? I asked. Liz chuckled and pushed her blonde hair out of her face. She had it shaved on one side, which I thought made her look pretty hot. Although, Liz didn't have to do anything to look hot. She was 5'10", mostly legs, drop-dead gorgeous, and played the fucking drums. End of story. We're lucky Wolfpack even invited us on this tour, Liz said. We just have to deal with the shitty schedule. She drummed her black and white painted fingernails on the steering wheel. She never listened to music when she drove. She liked to use the silence to make up her own rhythms. I wondered what was going on up there in that head of hers. Wind howled as it beat against the bus. The road dipped down over a hill, curving through the thick, dark forest. The wheel screeched as we barreled around it, and I clenched my teeth, gripping the armrest. "Can I drive?" I asked. "I don't think that's such a good idea. I have insomnia, not narcolepsy, Liz." I smirked, but her attention was still on the road. "I'm not going to just pass out while I'm driving or something." Liz was quiet for nearly a minute. Her jaw tensed and released as she avoided making eye contact with me. "What happened at the show in Cleveland scared me, Alex," she finally responded. "It wasn't a big deal. You passed out on stage. It was scary. The paramedics said it was probably just exhaustion. I'm fine." I noticed I was biting my nails, so I quickly pulled my hand away from my teeth and balled it into a fist at my side. "They all said you should go to a doctor and get checked out, which you haven't done. Maybe I'll do that after the tour. I don't have the time for making an appointment or anything right now. I can't miss a show." Liz snorted. "You're gonna die young, Alexander Pierce, but it's not gonna be because you pass out driving our tour bus and crash. That would mean I'd die too, and that ain't gonna happen." I rolled my eyes and stared out the windshield. The string of Mardi Gras beads hanging from our rear-view mirror clanked as they swung back and forth like a metronome. I focused on the winding road ahead of us, where the dark shapes of pine trees zoomed by, creeping in closer and closer the further we went. The lanes were so narrow, I wasn't even sure a car would be able to pass going the other direction. I leaned back in the seat. My eyelids felt like they were weighted down by anchors. The exhaustion was painful, but my body wouldn't let me fall asleep. I didn't tell Liz, but the reason I didn't want to get checked out wasn't because I didn't have the time. It was because I was scared. What if there actually was something wrong with me? What if they couldn't fix it? My eyes slipped closed for a second. I immediately snapped them back open, shaking my head to clear my mind. It was better if I didn't know. It was better if I could keep pretending there was nothing wrong. I could live like this. Shifting in my seat, I searched through the pocket on the passenger side door until I found an energy drink. Liz must have bought it when she stopped for gas, but it was mine now. When I cracked it open, the wonderful and sick smell of chemicals filled the air. Liz glanced at me as I took a sip. "I'm sure that's helping with your insomnia, Alex. That will help you get right to sleep. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight regardless. I might as well not be completely exhausted. Have you told Jake and Reggie about it yet?" "About what? That I have trouble sleeping?" "No, I haven't told them, Liz. You really should." She tightened her grip on the steering wheel for a second before relaxing it. "I think Jake is worried about you. He asked me if I thought you were on drugs." She glanced at me out of the corner of her eye. "I'll think about it," I said as I looked away. Liz and I were quiet for a minute. I stared out the front window as we drove, slowly drinking the energy drink. Liz yawned and I passed it to her. She took a long gulp before passing it back. "Do you ever miss me?" I asked. "What?" Liz forced a laugh. "I see you every day, Alex. How could I miss you?" "You know what I mean." Alex, Liz turned to face me, and the bus drifted in its lane. I glanced at her out of the corners of my eyes, waiting for her to finish her sentence. I blinked. When my eyes flashed back open, something bright and white burned in front of me. Two glowing balls of fire roaring down the road. What the? It only took me 2 seconds to realize what was going on, but it was 2 seconds too long. "Liz," I screamed. I dove towards her and grabbed the steering wheel. Buck. Liz turned her attention ahead, pushing me back into my seat. The set of headlights flew towards us. The pickup truck was right in the middle of the road. What was it doing? It was going to hit us. In a split second, Liz jerked the wheel and our bus screeched to the side. I gripped my seat. The front wheels went airborne for an instant as we flew into a ditch. My stomach turned with weightlessness, like I was going over a drop on a roller coaster. My vision darkened around the edges. Liz's arm pressed against my chest to protect me, but when we came crashing to a stop, I flew forward. My head smashed into the dashboard. Then, everything went dark. My ears rang like the sound of cicadas on a hot summer evening, high-pitched and distorted. Everything was dark. Pain pounded through my head. My brain pulsed against my skull in time with the blood rushing through my temples. My eyes fluttered open. The headache was so nauseating that my vision blurred like I was underwater. Foggy shapes moved around me like phantoms. Where am I? I could feel scratchy fabric against my back. I forced my eyes open again, and a blur of colors waved into focus. A string of purple and green Mardi Gras beads hung from a rear-view mirror, swinging back and forth lazily. I was still on the bus. An icy gasp of wind howled into the vehicle, and a hand gripped my shoulder as a face came into view. His mouth moved, but the ringing in my ears was too loud. I couldn't make out anything he was saying. Blinking a few more times, my vision finally cleared enough to recognize the face. Jake. His scruffy beard and messy mop of hair were unmistakable. "Are you all right?" His voice came through, but it was muted and distant. "Alex, are you all right?" I tried to answer, but pain surged through my head like a tidal wave. My mouth swelled with hot saliva. Oh fuck. In a rush of panic, I shoved Jake out of my way, pulled myself up, and stumbled out of the bus. My legs gave out beneath me, and I gripped the side of the door to keep myself from falling over. I gagged, and then energy drink mixed with acid powered up my throat, bursting out of my mouth like a water balloon exploding. "Oh my God," I groaned. Grasping my head, I braced myself by the knees as I dry heaved twice. After gagging once more, I was sick again. My body shivered and shook as I clutched my ribs. My tongue and the roof of my mouth burned as I spat onto the ground, trying to get the bitter taste out of my mouth. Drool clung to my chin. I wiped it off on the back of my hand. Another blast of wind barreled past me, numbing the surface of my skin. "Jesus Christ," Jake muttered next to me. "Fuck," I panted, leaning against the bus as I tried to regain my composure. The pain in my head throbbed behind my eyes, but the vomiting had helped to dull its intensity. "I think I'm okay," I managed to say between shivered breaths. "Alex, sit down." Jake pulled my arm, and my body immediately responded. I collapsed onto the ground, my back against the cold metal of the bus. I leaned my head back, gasping for breath. "What's your name?" Jake asked me. I tried to focus on him, but I couldn't make out any features of his face other than his eyes. Deep brown and staring at me. They glowed and flickered with a faint trace of light. "Alex," I finally responded. I paused for a second and pushed my hair out of my face. I can't remember who I am, but you keep calling me Alex, so I assume that's my name. Jake's thick eyebrows curled in confusion and concern, and I couldn't stop a grin from sneaking across my face. "You asshole." Jake punched me in the shoulder lightly. "You're such a fucking shit." "Alexander Pierce," I said. How old are you? I'm 22, going to be 23 on the 31st. Cold air bit at my skin. I dug my fingers into the dry dirt at my sides. My head spun. I wasn't ready to get up. Where are you? Jake continued questioning me. I don't know. My mind froze, and I looked up at the sky. Clouds streamed over it like advertisements tugged behind planes at the beach. The moon peeked out for a second before flickering behind darkness. Somewhere in Montana, I finally responded. Jake nodded. What's the date? It's Saturday, October 26th. My teeth chattered and pain pulsed through my skull. How long have I been out? Only about 10 minutes, Jake replied. A gust of wind blew his dark hair into his face, and he quickly pushed it back. You're bleeding a bit, man. He wiped at the side of his head. I reached to my hairline and felt something sticky and warm. When I brought my hand back, dark red streaked my fingers. I swallowed down another wave of nausea. My teeth chattered in my skull. Is Liz okay? I managed to ask. I could feel my body quivering. Liz is fine, Jake said. She's checking on Reggie and Veronica. I clenched my teeth. Why hadn't Liz stayed with me? Didn't she care if I was okay? I pushed the thought away. Are they okay? I asked instead. I shook from the cold. It couldn't have been more than 30 degrees out. If I'd have known I was going to have to go outside, I would have at least put a shirt on. I think so. Jake pulled his black sweatshirt off and placed it over me. Stay here. He darted off, and I leaned my head back against the bus. I knew I needed to get up, but my entire body felt weak, and I couldn't stop my hands from trembling. The world spun around me and undulated like I was drifting through swells in the ocean. Are you guys okay? Jake's voice echoed in the distance. He couldn't have been more than 20 feet away, but with the wind carrying it, he sounded much further. We're all right, Reggie replied. A couple bangs and bruises, but we'll be fine. Is Alex okay? I don't know, man, Jake said. He doesn't look so good. He was answering questions and talking all right, but I think he hit his head pretty fucking hard. He puked a couple of times. Oh, fuck, Reggie replied. Their voices drifted off as I closed my eyes. Hey, Alex. What? My eyes shot open. Jake was leaning over me. You can't fall asleep, okay, man? You might have a concussion. Sorry, I said. Put this on. Jake handed me my denim jacket. I'd had it for about 5 years, but I still wore it almost every day. He must have found it with my stuff on the bus. I gave him back his sweatshirt and pulled my jacket on. He offered me his hand and helped me to my feet. I'm gonna help the others. Jake made it 3 steps before turning back to face me, seeing if there's a way to push the bus out of this ditch. I nodded to him, and then he spun on his heel and jogged off. I put my hands in my pockets and leaned back, grimacing. My head pounded. All I wanted to do was lay down and fall asleep. I looked up toward the road, but other than the bus's headlights and the light coming out of the windows, the night was completely dark. I couldn't even tell how far we'd gone into the ditch. 3. What happened to the pickup truck? My memory of the crash was hazy, but I didn't think we hit it. Liz swerved, and then we went into the ditch, but where had the truck gone? Even if we hadn't hit it, surely it would have pulled over. It didn't make sense, unless... Voices echoed from the other side of the bus, interrupting the thought I didn't want to finish. I stumbled over to meet the others, examining the side of the bus for damage as I went. Remarkably, there were no dents or scratches, just the horrible paint job that marred the bus's side like a gaping wound. Veronica had declared one night, after too much tequila, that our bus needed a name, and it needed to be purple, because that was her favorite color. The next day, as a joke, Jake and I had spray painted the words "The Scream Machine" across the side of the vehicle in bright purple and silver. At the time, I thought it was hilarious and beautiful, and we ended up leaving it, but now, looking at the violet monstrosity just made me nauseous. Veronica, can you get in and put it in reverse while we try to push it out? Reggie asked as I rounded the front of the bus. Why me? Veronica put her hands in the pockets of her thick purple sweatshirt. "'Cause you're the smallest, babe." Reggie leaned in and planted a kiss on her forehead. "Okay, fine, I'll do it." The wind tugged at the strands of her lavender hair that had escaped from her hood as she pulled the driver's side door open and climbed in. "If it starts to slip towards us, hit the brakes," Reggie called to her. "Can I help?" I asked. Liz nearly jumped where she stood, and Jake and Reggie turned to face me. "Are you sure you're all right, man?" Reggie asked. "You took a pretty hard hit to the head." "It's just a bit of a headache." I shifted on my feet. I tried to catch Liz's eyes, but she was looking at the ground. "Once I get moving and doing something, I think I'll be okay." "All right," Jake nodded. He lunged against the front of the bus, and Reggie and Liz leaned in next to him. "We're gonna start pushing, Veronica," Reggie called. I leaned in next to Liz. "Are you okay?" I asked lowly. "I'm fine," she replied, focusing on her hands as she gripped the bumper of the bus. "Ready?" Jake called. 1, 2, 3. The tires squealed as they spun to life, spitting leaves and dirt into the air. My feet slipped in the loosely packed dirt as I pushed as hard as I could. It didn't budge. "It's not working," Veronica called to us as the wheels stopped spinning. "No shit. Let's try it again," Jake said. 1, 2, 3. I leaned with all of my weight, digging my feet in behind me. Nothing. "It's no good," Reggie said when we stopped pushing. "We're 10 feet off the road. We aren't getting it out." Veronica leapt down from the bus, her Converse kicking up dust as she landed. Tiny twigs snapped beneath her feet. "Does anyone have any cell service?" she asked. "Maybe we could call someone." I pulled out my phone and checked it, even though I already knew there wasn't any service. The screen lit up, and I was greeted by 0 notifications and the friendly "no service" reminder. "Nope," Jake sighed. "I've got nothing," Liz said. Reggie shook his head. Veronica looked at me, her hazel eyes pleading for me to give her good news, but I shook my head as well. "What are we gonna do?" Veronica was trying to hold herself together, but their voice faltered. "How are we gonna get out of here?" She clenched her hands into tiny fists by her sides. "It'll be fine, babe," Reggie said. He went over to her and rubbed her back lightly. "How will it be fine?" she whined, shoving Reggie's hand off her. "We're stranded on some back road in the middle of nowhere in Montana." She sucked in a few gasps of air, like she was trying to snuff out a candle that someone had lit inside her lungs. Her eyes shot over to me. If Alex hadn't broke the Wi-Fi, we wouldn't be stuck like this. "It was an accident," I grumbled. I'd already apologized enough for what had happened. "Well, maybe you shouldn't have been using the router as a fucking coaster." "Veronica, that's enough," Jake said. "It's not his fault, and we aren't stranded. Someone will drive by eventually. We've just got to flag down the next car that passes. I'm sure it won't be long. You and Reggie go get warm on the bus and see if you can get some sleep. I'll watch the road." Reggie nodded and led Veronica back onto the screen machine. Jake's phone flashed as he turned on the flashlight app. He accidentally shone it in my face, so I covered my eyes. "Sorry." He pointed the light at the ground, then looked to Liz. "Don't let him fall asleep." Without waiting for an answer from either of us, he turned and hiked up the ditch toward the road. Liz leaned against the bus and took a pack of cigarettes out of the pocket of her leather jacket. She pulled one out and put it between her teeth. Her hands shook as she attempted to light it. Every time she got the lighter to flicker on, it immediately snuffed out. "Here." I took the lighter from her and held down the ignition. She breathed in, and the tip of the cigarette glowed red. "Thanks," she said. Smoke plumed out of her mouth as she stared off into the woods, avoiding eye contact with me. I breathed in heavily through my nose. I loved the smell of cigarette smoke. "Do you want one?" Liz held out the pack to me, still avoiding eye contact. "No, I'm okay," I said. I've been trying to cut down on the amount that I smoked, sticking pretty much to just weed. Cade, the vocalist for Wolfpack, had been practicing screaming with me, so my throat was pretty rough from that, on top of the strain of performing. I pulled my jacket tight around myself, shivering. I need to put on something warmer. "I'm sorry," Liz finally said. "It's not your fault." I should have been paying better attention. I should have seen that truck coming sooner. "That asshole was driving like a fucking maniac," I said. "He was right in the middle of the road, and he didn't even pull over. There's nothing you could have done. I should have told you to wear a seatbelt." "I'm okay," I said. "Just a bit of a headache. I still feel bad. You were unconscious and—" "Look, Liz, it's not your fault. No one is blaming you. The bus can still run. It's just stuck. As soon as someone comes by, we'll be able to get out of here. We probably won't even be late for the show." Liz nodded. Her blue eyes shimmered in the light. Was she crying? Liz never cried. "Alex, I just thought of something." "What?" "I don't remember when the last time I saw a car before that truck was. I don't remember seeing any. Not even one." I froze as her words sank in. She'd been driving since midnight. How could she not have seen a single car? It was the middle of the night, sure, but not even one? How long was it going to be before someone drove by? I stared off into the woods in front of us. The headlights illuminated tree after tree until everything faded to darkness in the distance. Branches shifted and moaned with the wind like arms with thousands of tiny, pointy fingers. Something flickered and glimmered behind one of the distant trees. My heart pounded as I focused in on it, my eyes stretching wide. I wasn't sure if it was a pair of eyes or just a leaf. Sticks snapped in the distance, the sound echoing through the forest like a rock thrown into a well. A dark shape moved between the trees. My eyes watered and burned from staring. I blinked. It was gone. Just my eyes playing tricks on me. A weird reflection from the headlights, or maybe it was some sort of animal. Wolves. Bears. A chill traveled down my spine. The unsettling sensation that we were being watched latched on to the back of my mind. "Maybe we should turn the headlights off and get on the bus," I suggested. "We don't want to run the battery out." I snapped my hand away from my mouth, curling my fingers into my palm. How did Liz know I was doing it? She wasn't even looking at me. "Sorry," I said. She tilted her head to the side, cracking her neck loudly. We sat on the bench behind the small plastic dining table. Her leg was so close to mine, I could almost feel the contact. My entire body was on edge, all of my muscles tensed. "I don't know if it's a good idea for Jake to be out there by himself," I said. "He's a grown-ass man, Alex." She turned to me. "He can take care of himself. I know." I glanced around the bus uneasily, gripping the worn vinyl of the seat. Everything was still the same as before, just tilted about 10 degrees from normal. It was like I was in a pretend world, one that looked identical to the one I knew, except the force of gravity had been tugged a hair out of whack. The sense that something wasn't right, that something was watching us, clung to the back of my mind. I couldn't shake it. "What are you worried is going to happen to him out there?" Liz leaned forward, running her hands down her designer-ripped jeans. Her fingers almost brushed against my leg, but she shifted to avoid the contact. Instead, she rested one elbow on the table, holding her chin in her hand. "I don't know. He could get attacked by bears, maybe. Wolves? Wolves? Liz forced a laugh, and then she actually laughed. Really, Alex? She shoved my shoulder playfully. You've been hanging out with Wolfpack too much. She paused for a second as she chuckled. I swear their drummer Beck actually thinks he's a werewolf. Every time we drink with them, he goes on and on to me about it. I smirked at her. He's just telling you that to make himself seem interesting because he wants to get in your pants. Liz rolled her eyes. You know I'm right. Can't blame the guy though. You're hot as hell, Liz. Her face blushed pink, and she tried to hide the fact that she was smiling. She tugged her lips down over her teeth. Have you gotten with him yet? I asked. No, she responded immediately. I mean, what? This is a really awkward conversation, Alex. It's okay, I know. Take your time getting over me, Liz. I pretended to yawn. I've been told I can be a tough act to follow. Beck should already know that, though, considering we open every show for them. I grinned at her. Oh my God. Liz put her hand to her forehead and covered her face. Her body shook as she held in a laugh. That is one of the worst jokes you've ever told, Alex, but it still made you laugh. Liz turned to me, her lips pressed together in a soft smile. I'm gonna make something to eat. Do you want anything? I'm all right, I said. My head was still aching, killing any appetite I might have had. Liz nodded and pushed herself to her feet. I leaned back, my eyes getting heavy. As my energy dipped, a chill ran over me. I stood, trying to get my blood going again. How long had Jake been outside? I turned around and peeled back the blinds, but the night was black as ink. I squinted out the window toward the road, but it was pointless. The dim light from the interior of the bus glared off the glass, and I couldn't see a thing. The sound of 1,000 tiny stones tumbling echoed through the bus. I glanced over my shoulder. Liz was pouring a bowl of cereal. Cold sweat slicked the back of my neck, and I shivered. I needed to put